Dr. Jaffe, can you tell us the part that pH balance plays in addressing SIBO?
Well, SIBO is overgrowth of unhealthy bacteria in the small intestines. It's one of many forms of maldigestion, dysbiosis, atrophy of digestive competence called enteropathy, repair deficit, often called inflammation, irritability, irritable bowel syndrome. You can speak about each of them separately, of course, but from my point of view, there's a continuum of digestive issues at all parts of the digestive tract. And if you focus just on the small intestine, one of the very common conditions usually induced by medical treatments, is a lack of the good bugs. That turns out to be muy importante, very important. And in the absence of the good bugs, an opportunity for harmful bugs to grow and proliferate becomes available. Within the last few years, it's become very clear that if you get enough of the good bugs in, you crowd out the bad bugs, and that is critical to restoring a healthy pH in the small intestine. And it turns out that every part of the body, almost every cell of the body, has its own slightly unique pH. So we all know, for example, that the pH of your stomach should be very acidic and the pH of your poop should be alkaline. To emphasize how important probiotics and prebiotics are in managing SIBO, I remember lectures that Dr. Dennis Burkitt was giving. He was in his 90s and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and he pointed out what we teach, which is you need 40 to 100 grams of unprocessed fiber to feed the good bugs, to create the butyrates that modulate a healthier pH in the small intestine. And you need to have enough stomach acid so that minerals uptake is facilitated, B12 is facilitated. And if you have had antibiotic therapy, or if you've had proton pump inhibitor therapy, or if you've had many of the medical approved therapies that are known to impair digestion, you're more likely to develop SIBO. And if you take in enough of the prebiotics, probiotics, and symbiotics, SIBO goes away, or you avoid it. So 40 to 100 grams of fiber from diet and supplements, 40 to 100 billion healthy bugs, because while acidophilus is an essential microorganism for healthy digestion, it doesn't proliferate in the gut. You have to take it in through fermented foods and supplements. And the supplements, of course, have to have live bugs, active bugs, not just a bazillion particles, most of whom are not viable. In fact, there was one company that made quite a marketing pitch that dead bugs were going to cause more immune stimulation than live bugs. And that might be true. But very often, those people already had too much immune stimulation, derivative of their maldigestion and their environment. And that company went away, not just the product, the company. So we do know the answer about prebiotics and probiotics. We add the unique symbiotics, the recycled glutamine, 3 capsules on rising and 3 before bed, and another 3 half an hour before workouts. I'm getting terrific real-world experience comments from people who exercise and know their limits. They know how much they can press or lift or whatever. And the addition of 3 Perk and DuraPack symbiotics, half an hour before the workout, improves their peak performance and, more importantly, shortens their recovery time. So there's lots of aspects to healthy digestion so that SIBO becomes a memory and not something with which you have to contend. There are specific protocols for wiping out the pathogens in people with SIBO. And generally, I find that the more resistant organisms stay. And the summary from my point of view is if you bring in the good, the bad doesn't proliferate. And the other part is if you feed them, if you have a microbial wasteland in your microbiome digestive tract, then you might well be feeding pathogens, parasites, fungi, bacteria, viruses, prions. There's all sorts of categories. And to me, it's very exciting to have confirmation coming from Princeton and UCSF and other academic centers that confirm more of the good means less of the bad, especially about digestion and SIBO.